What is the slope? We're writing equation slope-intercept form. What is the slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b, correct? And in each of these what? These variables represent something, right? What does the y represent? Does it represent the y-axis? Remember your order pairs? What are your order pairs? X and Y. So what about M? What does the M represent? Slope. And what does the B represent? The y-intercept. Now, there are 4 different types of slopes of line, right? What are they? No, the slopes. You have 4 lines. What are the slopes? Positive, which is going which way? Then we have negative, which is going downward, right? What else do we have? When it goes 0, which way is 0? What type of line is it when it's 0? Horizontal line, correct? And the other one is what? Undefined. And which way is undefined? A vertical line, right? Now, automatically, if you see your M, and you see it in this slope-intercept form, if you see M negative, you should automatically know that your slope is going to be what? It's going to be downward. It's negative. That's the first you should just understand, correct? So what we're doing is writing the actual y in the slope-intercept form where it's y equals mx plus b. There are different forms to find how to write this equation. So if we go to the second slide, writing equations in slope-intercept form. Using slopes and y-intercepts. So we already know that who is M? So we know that M is slope. And who is the y-intercept? We know it's B, right? Okay. So if we write an equation of each line with the given slope and y-intercept. Yes. Let's wait. So we know in A, we know we have to extend it to what? Y equals mx plus b, right? That's our end goal. A is going to be what? We already know what are we descending as the slope is -3 and our y-intercept is what? Half. Are we given y? Y. Now y-intercept. Are we given y from our equation? Remember, we're looking at the equation. Are we given y here? In A. So we're just going to write y. Are we giving m? Yes. And what is m? -3. Are we given x? No. Are we given b? Yes. Is it positive or negative? So that means I have to write a plus sign, right? And that is your answer. Okay? That's how you write it. In B, we're giving the slope and the y what? Intercept. Are we giving y on B? No, right? Were we giving a slope? Yes? No? Yes, right? And what is our slope?
0.
So it's going to be 0 what?
0
X.
plus.
Is it plus 2?
Minus.
-2. Are you going to see it that way or no?
I see that way.
No, when you guys are writing or looking in the book, will you ever see 0x like that? No, okay, you need to do what? Get rid of what? We're going to substitute what? 0 for M, correct? And negative 2 is for who? For B. So, reality, our answer is going to be what? Y equals negative 2.
Why equals negative 2?
Huh? What happened, Landon?
Why would equal negative 2?
Because what is 0 times x?
0.
0. No matter what number x represents, it's still going to be what? 0, because it's multiplied by 0. So that number is non-existent. So y equals negative 2. What type of line is it going to be that? Is it vertical?
Horizontal.
A horizontal line, correct. Got it? Just by looking at it. All right. If we go now, this is when writing using slopes, when we're giving a slope and y-intercepts, okay? Yes. When we're giving slope-intercepts. All right. If we go to the third slide, now we're given what? Graphs. So we know when it's in words that they give us they're going to give us what here? What do we have here? Write an equation of each line in slope-intercept form. We are able, again, what is our end goal? Y equals mx plus b. That is our end goal. In A, what do we have in A? We're going to do what?
Can't we just figure out the rise over run?
You could do the rise over run.
And then that'll be the slope, and then, so obviously we share the 3 as the y-axis, y-intercept.
The width number? 3 or your negative 3, you said?
They share, so they share the number 3, they don't share, they're different.
No. 3? No, there's a negative 3 and there's a 3.
Yeah.
You're correct, but which one will be B? The negative 3 or the 3? A negative 3 y, because it's on the y-axis, okay? That's where the line intercepts, right? So you could do it 2 different ways. We could do what? We're going to do A with the equation. Who remembers how to find the equation of the slope? Yes, but what's on the top? Remember, is y2 minus y1 x2 minus x1. And a lot of students forget that minus, just because you have a negative, the number is negative, whether it be y1 or x1, you still have to take the minus with you. And it cancels out into a plus. So let's look at A. What is y2 and A? You pick any points. At this point, you just pick any point. You could have this as your 1 and this as your 2 or vice versa. Well, Miller said 3 first. So we'll do, this is 2 and 1, correct? Yeah. So what's y2? 3 minus negative 3. Do you see where you have to make sure you write it separately? I will have student write 3 minus 3. If you write 3 minus 3, just because the 3 is negative, you still have to use your minus sign. So this over, what's my x2? 4 minus 0. And what is 3 minus negative 3? 6 over 4. Can I simplify that? What is my 3 over what? 3 over 2. So we already know we're going to have what? Y equals, what's my slope? 3 over 2x. Just minus 3. Okay, because we already established that's going to be 3. Because that is where my y intercepts, at negative 3. So this is one method of using what? Plugging in what? The order pairs, right? Or method 2 is, this is when you're giving the actual graph, okay? You count your rise over run, okay? So if we look in B, I'm going to determine what type of slope of line we have here.
Positive.
What is it? Negative. That's always told you guys, determine first. So we already know it's going to be negative, correct? So let's count. The rise. You could, what is it? 4 over 3? Is it 4 over 3? What is it? 3 over what? 3 over 4. So we have here what? 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct?
Oh, yeah.
So we have y equals
Y equals -4x
x. And where does it intercept at?
plus 2.
Plus 2. At the 2. It's right over here where it intercepts. That is base where you find your intercept. Yes, what happened? Because it's going, in reality, it's going negative.
Yeah, but like, the lines are always gonna be where the first plot, like the first point is.
On the y, where it's just where you see your y up here, where you see this, what is it? This y over here, this is our y-intercept, right? So where you see the y-intercept and you see the line passes at any point, that's where it intercepts. If it backwards will be, let me do another color. Wherever the line passes through x, that's the x-intercept. Okay, can we go on? We're good? Number 4, now we have what? Writing an equation of a line with given points. Again, we're going to do now what?
y2 minus y1 over
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And our end goal is what? Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so in A we have what? What is our x2 here? No. -1 minus what? Minus 5. And then what? 0 minus? -3. What is -1 minus 5?
4.
-6. And 0 minus -3 gives me? Does it give me -3? +3, right? Can I simplify this? What's -6 divided by 3? -2, right? It's what? The slope is what? -2. So it's going to be what? Y equals what? -2x minus 1. Does everyone see how we got the -1? Okay. Do you see right there? It's 0, -1. So I already know that the 0 means what? I'm going to start my origin and move up, go down -1, right? Am I still on the y-axis? So I don't need to really do what? Figure out. If I was to figure it out, I will have to do what? Substitution, okay? Substitution. in number B. In B. And B, okay, that's highlighted. Give me a second. What is our y2 and B? -5 minus -5. And our x2 is 8 minus. What is -5 minus -5? What is it? And we know that 8 minus 0 is what? 8. What happens when we have a 0 on our numerator? What do you have it?
Undefined.
Is undefined? It's what? Our slope is going to be what? 0. When is it undefined? When our 0 is where? There you go. Good. So now, what is our equation? Y equals? Do we have a slope? No. And what is our y-intercept? -5. Correct? So y equals -5. Because we established that we have what? A slope of 0. And when we have a slope of 0, we use what? Substitution. Okay? All right. We ready to go on to the next slide?
No.
Do you always use y2 like as the answer of the equation, like
What do you mean y2?
for like -5? Like how that's y.
So that means that's what type of line is going to be that? What? No, it's not negative because we don't have a slope. Our slope is so we don't have a slope. So when we don't have a slope, yes, Miller.
Is there, like, you have to put it in, line because it has to be form. Is the form y equals 0 x minus 5?
Y equals -5.
Oh, it's y equals -5?
Yes, because our slope is what? 0. Remember, that's going to be the same as this. Y equals 0x minus 5. And this is what? Cancellation, right? So y equals -5. What type of slope are we going to have here? Who remembers? What type of line are we going to have here? A horizontal, right? We go down -5. And we have a horizontal line. All right, we're good for the next slide? Yes. All right. Now we're going to write a linear function. So in linear, so before we were doing equations, correct? In equations, that was in chapter what? Chapter 2. In chapter 3, we learned what? About linear functions. So we're giving now the function of 0 equals 10 and the function of 6 equals 34. Write a linear function. Okay, so step 1. Okay, let me do it another color so you guys could see it. Step 1. What are we going to do in step 1? We're going to write, f of 0 equals what? 10 as what? 0, what? 10. So we know why is it 0 equals 10? This is who? The function of f of 0 is what? What does that represent? What letter? Who forgot? You guys forgot already? What does this represent? Y, correct. So that means that y equals what? 10. So what type of line we have there? We have a horizontal line, right? So if we were to graph it, we're going to have, it's going to be at horizontal, it's going to be 0, 10. Got it? That's where we're getting 0, 10. Now, they're telling us now the function of f of 6 is what? 34, right? So what's going to be our new line? I mean, our new points. Do you guys remember the parent? The parent was what? F of x equals x, correct? So who's x here? 6. And who is y? 34. So those are new points. So in step 2, what am I going to do in step 2? So I already identify our points based on what? On what was given to me on the question, okay? Step 2, I'm going to do what? Find the slope. And how do we find the slope? Thank you. We're going to find the, we're going to find the slope. So the slope here is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? Who represents y2 here? 34 minus 10 over, and what's 34 minus 10? Over? So we could have 24 over 6 or 4, right? As a slope. And step 3, so far we already have, remember, our y equals mx plus b. What are we going to do in step 3? We're going to start writing the equation, okay? So we already know that y equals, yes, Landon. Y equals what? Who's our slope here? 4x. And what's our y-intercept? What is it? So plus 10. Where do we get the plus 10 from? From our y-intercept over here, which are from our points, okay? That's our y-intercept. So that is going to be your what? Your answer. Okay, so here are some practice examples, okay? In number 1, they're giving us the slope and the y-intercept. So our end goal is what, guys? Our end goal is y equals mx plus b, right? That's our end goal. That is what we're working towards. What is y we're not given? Well, who's our m here? 7x. Is it plus 2 or minus 2? Plus 2. That's our answer. What about number 2? So we have y equals what? X minus 1. We're going to ace this test, right? All right. On the second one, what type of line do we have? We know that that's a positive line, right? So our slopes have to be positive. So we already know we have y equals, let's go to our rise. How much are we rising here? We're going 1, 2. So we already know we're rising how much? 2. Oops, I used a.
Is it to the first point or is it to the second point?
No, we're rising, no?
No, there's another point in between the 2 points. If you go up,
So it's climbing by what here?
one up, one up over 2. If you go up and over 2, there's a point right there.
Oh, okay, but,
Isn't that if you want to do it a shorter way?
You go up 1 over 2 and you keep doing that, and you're gonna get to the 4 over
okay, let me,
And if we do the up 2 and then over 4, we're gonna simplify that to 1 up.
how many do we have there? Okay, give me a second. What do we have here? 1, 2. It went up 2, right? And went over how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct. Can you simplify that to what? Half. X equals what? Plus 1. There you go. Yes, but we have to first see it, okay? I get it. You always have to pay attention. Not every graph is going to be the same. Not every graph is going to climb by 1. There's going to be graphs that are going to be midpoints. Okay, in number 2, we already see, number 4, I'm sorry. We already know that that's negative slope. So we have what? Y equals negative. I already know it's going to be negative. So what is my rise here? 2 over what? 2 over 5, because I go 1, 2, and run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X, and what's my y-intercept here? -1, correct? And that's your answer. On the last 2, we have write an equation of the line passes through 0, -2, and 4 and 10. Remember, our end goal is again y equals mx plus b. I always recommend write it down. Write what's your end goal, especially when writing linear equations, any type of inequality. Write what is your end goal that you're trying to do, okay? So write an equation. So we know it's going to be, how do we find our slope? What's the equation of the slope? y2 minus y1 and what? x2 minus x1. So what's our y2 here? 10 minus -2 and over 4 minus 0. It gives us what? 12 over 4, which is the same as 3. So we know it's going to be what? Y equals 3x. 3x what? What is it, Ethan? -2. Because where is our y-intercept? Right over here. Let me do it another color so we could. Our y-intercept is with 0 over -2. It always has to be 0, comma, and a number, okay, for you to see your y-intercept. If you're given points and x is giving a number other than 0, then we have to figure it out where the line going through. Okay, in number 6, we have the function. So what are we going to do? G of x is G0 equals what? 9. What points can we have that to equal? What is it? 0 what? 9. And G of A equals 7. What points can we have there? 8 and what? 8 and 7. Now we're able to do what? Find our slope, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Which is our y2 here? 7 minus 9 over And what is 7 minus 9? Negative 2 over, simplified, that gives me what? 1 over 4. So our slope-intercept formula equation is going to be y equals negative 1 4x plus 9. I don't know why I keep getting other highlighter. Okay, and that is going to be our answer right over here.